Let's talk a little bit about the customer pyramid and the 3 layers that are involved in it.
So it's just like the employee pyramid. There's a transformation pyramid of survival, succeed, transform. Okay. So the survival experience for any customer, whether they're a customer of a dry cleaner or a defense contractor, is please meet my expectations. We as humans have expectations that sort of built into how we work, and we're naturally disappointed if you didn't, as a company, deliver on what I was expecting.
So a little bit about the expectation. So I am a customer of yours. I expect to check in, I have a room, and that my room is clean and everything goes as expected.
Well, and your expectations may be a function of what you're paying. It may be a function of what you're paying. It may be a function of what our website says in terms of our marketing materials. It may be a function of what you've heard in the general press or in the media about us. So there's a collection of things that actually define your expectations that you come with.
Okay.
And so, frankly, a Four Seasons versus a Motel 6, big difference in terms of what you expect when you're getting there. But the baseline of expectations, all it does, if you deliver on that, is create a satisfied customer. And in the past, we thought a satisfied customer was a loyal customer, but they're not. And they're not for all kinds of reasons. It's a more competitive world today. And the internet has created what I call a promiscuous consumer. And what I mean by that is that consumers are less loyal than they used to be, partly because they have more choices. So if you are General Motors or Sears, just playing at the bottom of the pyramid, 30 years ago, that was enough to be a successful company. Today, you're a survival company at that place. So a step above that is meeting desires. So how do you meet desires? Well, in a hotel context, meeting expectations are, well, I checked in at the front desk for, and it didn't take more than 5 minutes. Or I went to my room and it was about the size I expected. But when you're delivering on desires, you're actually taking it up a level. You're actually sort of saying, how are we actually addressing the social belonging or the esteem needs, levels 3 and 4 of the Maslow's pyramid? How are we actually addressing those? So in the context of a hotel, it could be, how are we creating an environment where you feel your affiliation needs are being met? You're in a hotel that is with people who feel like they're the kind of people you want to hang out with or don't. I mean, in the context of a bed and breakfast, it may be you like the fact that every morning you connect with a bunch of other people who are bed and breakfast kind of people. In a hip boutique hotel, it could be you like hanging out in the bar. At a family resort, it could be hanging out doing the family activities. But it's also the esteem needs, which is the 4th level of Maslow's pyramid. The fact that the company or the hotel makes you feel like you're a VIP. And whether it's because you were upgraded, you got a note from the general manager, the staff remembered your name, the maids were really, really friendly to you. Those are the kinds of things that help you feel like your desires are met. If your desires are met as a customer, you're more likely to be loyal or committed to the company.
So in that second layer, I'm hearing 2 things. One is, do I fit in here? And the other is, do I feel important here? And those are interconnected.
And that's true of any company.
Right.
That's true of any companies. Do I fit in here? And if it's a product where you're not really fitting in with other people, does this product sort of fit who I am and what my needs are? More than just sort of like the basic expectations. And does the product somehow translate to something that makes me feel like, wow, I got a great value, or I got something here that actually is beyond what I expected for the price I paid.
When I think about those 2 layers, I think about a model of customer service that I've seen before, customer satisfaction that I've seen before. And that base layer is actually called a dissatisfier. And what it says is, as long as I deliver it well, I'm satisfied, but what really happens there, if I don't deliver it well, I become extremely dissatisfied.
That's right.
But that second layer you're describing becomes the first layer of satisfaction, and that if I deliver that well and continue to deliver it well, my loyalty grows and my satisfaction as a consumer grows.
And there's this famous psychologist named Hertzberg, who actually was written about in the Harvard Business School case study, and that's exactly what he said. He says there's certain things in life that, in a hotel experience, if the plumbing's not working, you know it, and it pisses you off. If the plumbing's working, you don't care.
Right.
Interestingly enough, what you have to look at in your industry is what is something that used to be, or what is something that just erupted as a new potential dissatisfier. 10 years ago, 8 years ago, internet access in a hotel. 8 or 10 years ago, there are a lot of hotels that didn't have internet access in a hotel. Maybe just in the business center, not in the guest room, not Wi-Fi. And so as you actually started, as that became a more and more of a baseline expectation, and certain hotels didn't have it, it was like, I'm not going to stay there if they don't have that. So you have to look at how's your industry changing in such a way that there's a new collection of base expectations that could lead to dissatisfiers. How's that evolving over time? Generally, in most industries, what people are expecting is growing and expanding with time.
So in one way, the things at the second level start to drop down to be an expectation at the base level.
So this is what I call gravity when it comes to business, is that sometimes companies create an initial product that's sort of the top of the pyramid. It's something that people hadn't imagined. I love the story of Fred Smith and FedEx, where he created the idea of sending a package or a letter from Los Angeles to New York overnight. And nobody could have imagined, how do you do that logistically? With time, that actually started moving down the pyramid. It went from being an unrecognized need to a desire, and to ultimately being an expectation, to the point where about 10 or 12 years ago, FedEx was actually in trouble. They were losing market share because there were a bunch of other people in this commodity business. Something becomes a commodity with time when it's just expected. And that's when Fred Smith gave a famous quote, which was, I thought I was in the business of transporting goods. I came to realize I'm in the business of peace of mind. And that's when they spent almost $1 billion creating a logistics program that allowed you as a receiver or a sender of packages to track it and know exactly where it was at any one time.
So the information about where the package was became as important as the package getting there.
And that became the new top of the pyramid experience until, until that gravity occurred, and it ultimately became an expectation too. So don't fret if you create something that with 3 to 5 years becomes sort of the standard out there. If you have a patent on it, you have a certain competitive edge. But the fact is, businesses are in the business of actually going out and remaking themselves, so you come up with new things that address the higher parts of the pyramid.